Yo, welcome to Novo Trifecta. I am Juice, aka Jimmy Fedora, aka Alias. Jimmy, y'all gonna introduce yourselves?
Hey, this is Nova Kendall, aka Big Daddy.
Well, I mean, to be honest, Juicy, to be fair, you had about 45 names. We didn't know when you were going to stop.
Hey,
So we were trying to give you the proper respect.
it's still going. That shit's still forever changing.
Nah, this was Rashad. Nova Trifecta, what's up?
Yeah, well, the first topic we're going to cover today is the NBA playoffs. What do you guys shot?
What?
You disappeared.
I had to disappear because these imbeciles on the group chat keep sending messages and the banners keep popping up on the phone. So I just cut the settings off.
It's all good. We're gonna discuss the NBA playoffs, some of these first round matchups, some of these possible upsets. What you guys think?
Right now, I mean, I'm a Laker fan and a LeBron fan, even though Kobe my favorite player of all time. So my main focus been on the Lakers in Portland. The Lakers and the Trailblazers. I ain't gonna lie. I watched the Bucks. I watched the Bucks and the Magic the other day. I watched the Heat and who the Heat playing?
You playing the Indiana Pacers?
Yeah, I watched the Heat and the Pacers. I watched the Clippers in Dallas. I think Luka the future of the NBA. But right now, my focus is on LA and Portland. I'm putting all my energy into LA and Portland right now. I think the Lakers.
Does LA look like a championship team?
Which one?
The only LA team that matters. We don't call the Clippers LA. What?
The Lakers, Kendall. What you think about the Lakers, Kendall?
I mean, it is what it is. I kind of picked it a lot of people over Facebook and kind of made a prediction and said that the Portland was going to get them in 6, and I looked like a genius that first game. But since then, it hadn't been much competition. The Portland only had Damian Lillard's just, I mean, a phenomenal player. So he is so good. He's taking it to another level. But as a team, I think LA. I've said it from day one. My prediction: Lakers and the Raptors for the finals, and I'm still sticking with that.
Okay, I look at the Lakers, and when I've been watching them all year. I'm a big Laker fan anyway. The shooting is so hit and miss with me.
It ain't even hit and miss. It
ain't even hit and miss. It's bad. The free throw shooting last night. I mean, the free throw shooting in Game 3 was just terrible. Even LeBron shot bad. To me, is no reason, and I don't LeBron bash because I love LeBron. But It ain't no reason why LeBron shouldn't be an 80% free throw shooter. He needs to be an 80% free throw shooter. He should be an 80% free throw shooter. Anthony Davis missed like his first 4 free throws yesterday. And Anthony Davis really was non-existent in that first half. And they were playing him different. They were playing him a little different because he cut up so bad in Game 2. But Anthony Davis came alive in the second half because he started looking for his shot. He started hitting a lot of that elbow mid-range shots that he likes to hit. LeBron kind of controlled the game and kept the Lakers in it the first half because C.J. McCollum is a monster and Dame Lillard is a monster. And the only backcourt in the NBA that's better than them to me is Golden State because Portland can go nuclear with Dame and C.J. I mean, those two phenomenal players. But LeBron kept us in the game. And then in the second half, AD came along and it started looking like, okay, the Lakers are a much better team here. And if the two superstars play the way they should, then we'll
think they could be a championship team. What about the Clippers? And do they look like all this adulation everybody give them? Do they look like a championship team?
The Clippers got to get past the Mavericks first. The Mavericks are giving them all they wanted and would have. That daggone sign just fell. The Clippers are giving them everything. I mean, they're giving them all they can handle. And I believe they would have lost game one if Porzingis, if they would, that was cheap what happened to Porzingis in game one.
It was. I agree.
That was soft. That was
it should be 2-1.
Soft. And I think they would have won game one. Luka's hurt right now. Didn't he? He got a sprained ankle or something. Didn't that happen? Did they confirm that?
Yeah.
But he said he's going to be fine. I think he'll be fine.
Yeah, I'm sure they'll shoot him up, give him something good, stretch it out, kind of ice it and stuff like that.
I don't think the Clippers can win it because of playoff P. And I said this before. They call them Pandemic P. But I said this before the series even started. Everybody putting this hype into Paul George. And I remember Paul George in the playoffs. He comes up small. And I'm like, what championship did Paul George win for you guys to just bump them past the Lakers? Oh, when the Clippers bump it in gear. They're the best front court since Scottie and Mike. And, yeah, I see Luka Doncic. Luka just, go through him like water.
Well, I think people get so excited when somebody opposes LeBron that it just excites them. Kawhi Leonard made that commercial talking about he, had the little crown on his keychain, and he already kind of threw LeBron for the okie doke when LeBron thought he was going to be a Laker, and then he switched to going to the Clippers and all of that. So anytime somebody opposes LeBron, people hate on LeBron so much, they just get overexcited. I don't think the Clippers are a championship team. Of course, they got championship talent. I don't know if they're a championship squad yet. I mean, they didn't look the same. They don't look the same defensively without Patrick Beverley.
But you know what?
That have that championship talent. If you look at it, I mean, there's a lot of teams that have championship talent. Jimmy Butler, that's championship talent. Gordon Hayward, Jason Tatum, that's championship talent. Luka Porzingis, championship talent. Just because you got championship talent, there's so much that goes into it. And I think one main thing that everybody got hyped up on was when Kawhi went to Toronto and won that last year. People still are not giving the respect to that coach and that team that he had around him. They thought it was all Kawhi, and it was not all Kawhi. Kawhi, to me, yes, I said it before, second best player in the NBA behind LeBron James, and I do put him ahead of Kevin Durant. I do. A healthy Kevin Durant. I still have Kawhi ahead of him, and that's just
I can't put Kawhi in front of KD. I think KD is better than Kawhi.
But we seen Kawhi, carry his team to a championship. Well, KD
have we?
It happened last year.
But really, okay, wait a minute. We're gonna talk about it. Let's talk about it. That Toronto team had been a great team for a long time in the Eastern Conference, and they couldn't get past who? The Kings.
But you can say that. You can say that about the Kevin Durant team.
Okay, but let me finish. But they couldn't get past LeBron. LeBron leaves. They add a piece that they need. They needed somebody in the place of DeMar DeRozan, because I don't know if they get to the championship with DeMar. So they needed a little bit of upgrade, and they got Kawhi. They already had a great team. They had a great coach, and they was able to beat a very, very hobbled Golden State team. They did not beat the same Golden State teams that beat LeBron. They beat a hobbled Golden State. And if you got a full Golden State, that series might not even go 6 games. So
I mean that's ifs.
The championship is a championship, but
that's ifs and all that shit. I get what you're saying.
That ain't ifs. That's a fact.
You can say that about Golden State championships. People get hurt. That's what happened. That's a part of it. But he carried his team to the championship. You can't take it away from that guy.
He also done it with the Spurs and locked down LeBron James in that Heat team. That Heat team was really good.
He locked him down so bad that LeBron's numbers were like 28, 6, and whatever. Like, that's a lockdown.
I mean, he done what
he say he locked him down. LeBron doesn't shoot as well when Kawhi's on him. Okay, but
I'm not saying that he just shut him down, but he locked LeBron down enough that they won that championship, and that's what made me say that. Then he goes to Toronto, and to me, he took him to the next level, and I just think
is Kawhi Leonard the reason why the Spurs won that year. Kawhi Leonard was not the best player on that Spurs team.
But all I hear is you taking credit away from Kawhi.
That ain't me taking credit away from Kawhi. That's me telling the facts about what happened.
Still,
no. Do you think
Toronto team, they still had to go out there and perform on the floor?
They did, but I don't know if that means just because a team gets Kawhi in the future, they're a championship team. He's not LeBron.
But neither does it mean when Kevin Durant goes to a team.
That's what I'm saying. Because that's the conversation.
So, my thing is Kawhi's had two really good coaches and really good teams around him.
Yes.
Won 2 finals and got the MVP. He's been, to me, I'm sorry. Just to me, he's the second best player in the NBA.
To me, he got the two. To me, he's got the 2 flukiest championship finals MVPs of all time.
And Kevin Durant got the easiest for a superstar 2 championships of all time.
He does, but I don't know if Kawhi deserves to be better than Kevin Durant at this point. Kevin Durant still got an MVP. Kevin Durant, one of the greatest, if not the greatest scorer to ever touch foot on a basketball court. And, yeah, he got 2 championships. Now, yeah, they 2 of the easiest championships ever, but take the championships away, and he still accomplished more than Kawhi Leonard. So that's why I say I don't know if I can put Kawhi over KD. Yeah. Even without the championships, I don't think Kawhi is better than KD.
I mean, I feel your argument, and I have no problem with that argument. I just think, I mean,
and I don't even fool with KD like that.
I do not think.
No, I love KD. I think he all world. You know,
if you go back,
I don't fool with KD like that. I mean, I recognize how amazing he is as a player, but I mean, it ain't like I'm his number 1 fan or nothing. I just don't think Kawhi Leonard deserves rank over Kevin Durant. I don't. And I recognize Kawhi's talent. I got him at 3, I guess, but I don't know though.
But anyway,
is he better than Steph Curry? I don't know if he's better than Steph.
That's a whole nother conversation for another day. But,
it is.
But back to the playoffs though. What about the Eastern Conference? Because I mean, it's pretty much a two team race in the Western Conference. In my opinion, I picked that, even though I picked Dallas over the Clippers. But if you're being a realist, you know, it's a 2-team race. What about the East? Which I personally got the Heat going to the championship.
He looked really good, but like I say, I think it's the Heat in Toronto, and I'm taking the Raptors. I mean, even though if it comes down to it, both of those teams and both of those coaches have got, you know, NBA Finals experience, but I like the Raptors better than the Heat right now.
I mean,
Kendall, I'm gonna agree with you. I'm going with the Raptors. The Raptors got experience. They got the coach of the year. You know, I think that right now the Raptors could once again find a way to stabilize Giannis if or when they meet in the playoffs.
Yeah.
I think they can find a way to get that wall put up again. And if you can somehow stabilize Giannis and keep him from getting to the lane, you know, you got a real good shot. He hadn't had success against that stuff in the playoffs. I'm going to go with Toronto to make it out of the East. And I'm going with the Lakers to make it out of the West.
Yeah.
But I do think the Lakers need to improve a little bit. I do. Because that free throw shooting is going to be a pain in the behind. And I mean, the LeBron and AD need to both average 30.
Yeah.
I agree.
Yeah. I don't know. Celtics have played well too, but I just don't think they have what it takes to.
Why not though? Why aren't you high on the Celtics? Because they got everything that they need. Is it just because they so young?
Yeah, young teams don't win like that in the NBA. I mean, they just don't.
That's a lot. That's some of it. I don't know. I just don't have a good feeling about them. I don't know. That's just me, my gut feeling, you know, on that one. But
NBA teams do not win before it's time for them to win. They don't. They never have. And you can look at Boston and tell it just ain't their time yet. They got a lot of talent, but it ain't their time yet.
I mean, you could say that argument is so true because look at the Oklahoma City Thunder when they had Harden, Kevin Durant, and Russell Westbrook.
Yep.
That three of the best players in the NBA, and they couldn't figure out a way to get to. They couldn't even get to the
teams in the NBA do not win before it's time for them to win.
Well,
it takes time to learn how to do that. It takes time. Golden State turned up, when Steve Kerr got there, but they wasn't ready to win before all of that happened. They was talented, but they wasn't ready to win the whole thing. It takes a lot in the NBA. Experience, knowing what defeat feels like, camaraderie, chemistry. Everything's got to be right.
But if there was a year that they were going to win it, just like a weird get to it, even maybe it would be this year.
I agree with that.
But it's a weird. It's still a weird feel, You're not playing him. You don't have your crowd there and stuff. And I mean, they could get hot and find a way to make it there, but I don't see nobody beating LA in 7 games. The Lakers. I don't.
I think they beatable. They're my championship pick. They're very beatable because you can't rely on all you relying on is the greatness of, we're gonna keep it real, LeBron James and Anthony Davis. And Anthony Davis got to prove that. But they shooting is horrible. Like, they can go cold.
But that's NBA. That's NBA basketball. That's always been NBA.
But they still
basketball.
don't have great shooters. Like, it's not a good. And the way that they miss free throws, that can come back and bite them in the ass.
I agree.
That's not.
But to say that we only relying on the greatness of the 2 superstars, that's NBA ball. That's what NBA ball has always been about.
But you still got to have role players that come through. So, like, you could be. Even with LeBron been great for so long. It's just that his role players did not come along with him. That's the reason he got more championships.
But he got another one this year. He got another one. He got AD.
But besides AD, I'm saying the other ancillary pieces, the other pieces around him, they got to come along. They got to knock down shots. Danny Green can't shoot the way he shoot. KCP can't shoot the way he shoot. I love the way Alex Caruso playing with his defense. We seen him last night. He number 1 in defensive win shares in the playoffs, which a lot of people don't know. But, I mean, as far as shooting the rock, shooting the basketball, like if Golden State was here, they would run them off the floor. Just the way that they shoot the basketball. You know?
The Golden State here.
I agree with you. I'm just saying.
I just don't see somebody beating the Lakers for 7 games. I don't see it.
Yeah.
Because
we can't talk about what Golden State would do this year because this is a weird year. Golden State ain't here, and so we got to look at the teams that possibly could beat the Lakers in a 7-game series this particular year. I don't know if it is one that can beat them because relying on superstars is what happened. The greatness of superstars is what's always driven the NBA. Those 90s Bulls teams, if Michael Jordan wasn't a great superstar in every one of those finals, they lose them. If Shaq and Kobe if they didn't rely on the greatness of their 2 superstars, it's like our superstars are better than yours. We're about to beat you. That's the NBA. That's what it's always been. Every now and then you have the anomaly year when a Dallas in 2011 or Detroit in 2004 does it by committee. But most of the time, it's my superstars are better than your superstars, and we're about to win.
But it's still about the role players, too. It's still about the role players because LeBron role play. That's the reason LeBron ain't got more championships. Prime example, when he kicked it out to Kyle Korver, he missed a shot. It's plenty of instances where his role players don't come through. Yeah, you're right. It is my superstars versus your superstars, but it's my role players in my bench against your role players in my bench too. You get what I'm saying?
That was also
just like Michael Jordan's role player Steve Kerr. Had he not hit that shot,
I agree,
he wouldn't have got a ring. But hey, we're talking about Golden State and what could be if they were in the Western Conference Finals. We're overlooking what if Brooklyn was completely healthy with Kyrie and KD in the East?
Yeah, I mean, they'll probably be a shoe-in for the Eastern Conference.
But completely different. If we're going to say Golden State was here, they'd run them off the court. We could also say the same for if the Brooklyn Nets was in the East, they'd be running people off the court.
Well, I mean, I just said
and I look at those
first,
other LeBron.
That's the first team that came to my mind when I was talking about shooting. I mean, a Houston can give the Lakers a problem because they shoot the three well. What I mean about is like 3-point shooting team. We last in the playoffs in shooting the rock.
It's terrible. It's horrendous. But I look at those other LeBron years that you're talking about where his role players didn't come through for him. And I agree. LeBron's role players do not come through for him in the clutch the way Michael Jordan's role players did.
Or even even a Kobe Bryant.
Or even a Kobe. But what I'm saying is those other LeBron years, it was always an all-time legendary great team in the way. And that's why his superstar couldn't overcome. You playing San Antonio 3 times while they got Duncan, Parker, and Ginobili. You playing Golden State while they got Steph, while they got and a young Kawhi. And you playing Golden State when they got Steph, Clay, Draymond, and then added KD. This year, I don't know if you got that team that can overcome his greatness along with AD's
at the same
greatness.
Time, he's a lot older.
He
sustained that.
He is.
It used to be a shoe-in that he can go out and get you 38, 40 points. That ain't a shoe-in nowadays.
I agree.
He built the last, though.
He built the last, and I believe in him, but it's not a shoe-in like it was then.
Nobody takes care of their body better than LeBron James. He spends almost $1 million on health care alone. And he's a physical specimen. I mean, if you ask me, nobody's beaten the Lakers in 7 games. And I'm not
I hope you're right, being a Lakers fan, but I just don't think they unbeatable. You get what I'm saying?
They're unbeatable. I'm not saying they're unbeatable. Hey, this is a fluky year. This is the bubble. Something could happen. Hell, the Heat might make a run at it and win the finals. Who knows? I mean,
they're going to win the championship. Like the Heat going
it's almost like an AAU tournament.
It is.
Anybody could win it.
It's a glorified AAU tournament. And you even hear stars talking about this because nothing about this year is normal. Nothing this year is normal. And I mean, you've got players down there that have got uber confidence in their shot because of the way the gym's set up, and they're just, I mean, this.
And then you got other players that can't make a shot because it's weird. It's weird. You know, got a weird background. It doesn't sound the same in the arena, I assume. Like it's a weird year. Some people gonna play good. Donovan Mitchell been cutting up in it. But then you got other players that hadn't felt as good. They don't feel right. Even LeBron said it, you know, after game 1. You know, like, this is weird, man. It feels weird.
It is. I agree.
Well,
but I'm just being real. I think it's going to be my prediction all along, and I'm still going to I stand by it. The Raptors and the Lakers are cutting down the nets this year.
I'm with you. I'm Raptors, Lakers, and I'm going with the Lakers in 6 in that series. So I'm going with the Lakers too.
Right, the Heat and the Lakers in the championship, and we'll see from that. All right, we're gonna wrap it up with the playoffs. They're gonna keep going and going and going. Of course, we'll address that on the next podcast. But some exciting news coming out. The DC camp. If you are a nerd, alert! This is the portion of the podcast.
Nerd alert
for you. Yesterday, we got blessed with several trailers and behind-the-scenes footage and teaser artwork, starting with the Justice League Snyder Cut. What you guys think about that?
I thought it was dope. I'm not one of the people that absolutely hated the Justice League movie. I thought it was okay, but I didn't think it was near what a Justice League movie should be.
Yeah, you got to hold it up to that standard. It's just
Well, if I'm holding it up to that standard, then it was trash. Okay, but I understand that Zack Snyder had a tragedy happen. He had to leave for a while. You bring in Josh Whedon, the director for the first 2 Avengers movies. I thought he Avenged the movie up, and I love the Avengers, but that's not DC. So I thought he tried to Avenger it up, and it didn't really work that well with Justice League. Now Zack Snyder coming back to give us his version, probably the way he wanted it the first time. Superman in the black suit. You got Steppenwolf, look like he got an upgrade in his armor. You got Darkseid. that they showed in there. The CGI is looking good. It looks great to me. The Snyder Cut looks great.
I cried when I watched that trailer. Nah, why y'all laughing? I'm dead ass. It was so beautiful. But yeah, I'm looking forward to it. Like, I can't believe that you had that much footage in the wings and you didn't use it. It looks legendary. So that remains to be seen, and I'm very excited about it. The next, trailer that they shared was Wonder Woman. I love the first one. What you think
about Wonder Woman?
I'm excited for it, but I've got 2 young ladies in the house that are ecstatic for Wonder Woman, and yeah, it's gonna be fun. I cannot wait for it to come out. I like the first one. My girls went through a phase where for about 2-3 months we watched Wonder Woman at least twice, sometimes 3 times a week. We're past it now. About the only movie that we watch every week now is almost like Suicide Squad, or the Leprechaun, or Freddy Krueger slicing somebody up. If anybody knows my youngest daughter, she loves all that stuff. But Wonder Woman looks really good, and my 2 girls are excited for that. And I guess I fall in that category of I watch a lot of movies with my girls. So if they like a movie, if they're all about it, then it kind of gets me excited. And watching that Wonder Woman trailer, we watched it probably, I don't know, we've watched it a bunch in the last 2 days, and they're really excited. My youngest one, Cambry, she wants me to go ahead and rent it and watch it now, but she don't understand it hadn't dropped yet. So I think it looks really good too. It looks really, really good. I'm excited.
I think the cheetah looks good. I think the VFX look good on it. I love how Wonder Woman is like swinging from lightning bolts and everything like that. Like, that's dope to me. I thought that the first Wonder Woman was a classic. I thought that the first Wonder Woman saved DC, the DCEU, the DC Cinematic Universe, because I think 2016 kind of was a failure because people didn't like Batman v Superman and people didn't like Suicide Squad. I didn't think Batman v Superman was that bad, but a lot of people did, and they definitely didn't like Suicide Squad.
Why did people not like Suicide Squad that much?
I mean, I don't think Suicide Squad is a great movie, but I do appreciate the characters.
Yeah,
I'm a Joker fan. But I like Harley Quinn. I like Will Smith. Viola Davis. So
this is why, Kendall, when you
with it, but I didn't think it was.
When you got a cast like that, and you got characters like that, you can't roll out a mediocre movie. That shit is unacceptable. You can't give us some mid. So, like, when you got Will Smith in a movie, in a comic book movie, you can't give – it got to be classic.
It was lame.
In between. Just like the Justice League. It's the fucking Justice League. You can't give us no mid. You got to give us the best script, the best story, the best CGI, the best action scenes, the best of the best. And that's what Marvel really good about doing.
Yeah. I think that I've said from the very beginning, and I think the whole problem with DC is that DC was so fixated on trying to go back and forth with Marvel that they got ahead of themselves. They tried to do things before it was time to do it. And that hurt me because I grew up watching Justice League. When we were kids, DC heroes were the biggest, Batman, Superman, Wonder Woman, Justice League. So I was big on Justice League growing up, and I've turned into more of a Marvel fan now because the MCU just been so dominant this era. But DC, to me, they got a little bit too fixated on trying to be Marvel and rival them instead of doing their own thing. DC is different. They're darker. They're more realistic. They're more grounded. Batman is the greatest superhero of all time. I don't care what people say. So go the dark route, but do it your own way. They tried to keep up with Marvel. Marvel was a runaway train and had all of the momentum, and they failed trying to keep up with them. So now they need to do their own thing, make solo separate movies if that's what maybe you don't need a shared universe in DC like Marvel's got.
I think my youngest daughter's like fat, like the reason I guess she's so infatuated with the Suicide Squad is she's all about Harley Quinn. So, I mean, I think that's her infatuation. I do think Marvel has Marvel has absolutely dominated when it comes to movies. They have DC, and I'm like you, Shad. Like I grew up like DC's. I mean, you got Batman, Superman, Wonder Woman. Like, I'm with you, Batman, the great. I mean, he's the GOAT. Even though I love me personally, I'm a bigger guy, so I always like the Incredible Hulk because it's like, get mad and smash stuff. That was cool, but I mean, he compares, nothing to Batman, and you got Batman and the Joker, the greatest villain of all time, and
greatest villain of all time.
Like DC has not been able just to put it together. Justice League was it was an okay movie. When we talk about Justice League, it doesn't need to be an okay movie. It needs to really be incredible.
Yeah, but I do think that I do appreciate solo movies that DC made. I just don't think they've done good when they tried to share it. When they tried to make a team movie, they didn't execute well to me. But I do think Man of Steel is a classic. I think Wonder Woman is a classic. I think Aquaman is a classic. I thought Shazam was good. Joker is a classic. So, I mean, they do great when it comes to solo movies. I just don't think they've executed the team movie concept the way Marvel has executed that.
Right. Yeah, you're right.
We'll see in the next phase.
And staying on that solo, experience. The last movie we got time to cover for is the Batman, probably the most anticipated out of all of them. So what you guys think about that trailer, how that looks, and about 5 minutes or less, let's try to knock that out.
All right, phenomenal. I thought it was phenomenal. I'm a big Batman fan. I said that earlier in the podcast. I'm a big Batman fan. I like Robert Pattinson. I was never worried about him. I think he's been good in everything I've ever seen him in, even in Twilight, chick flicks, whatever. But he's still done his job. He done good. He played a dark, mysterious character. I knew he'd be able to do that.
Yeah.
I'm not crazy about his Bruce Wayne look yet because Bruce Wayne's supposed to look like he could never be Batman. And that Bruce Wayne in the trailer looks like somebody that would be Batman. Like he looks dark and mysterious. And it looks like if I was walking through Gotham City, I'd be like, hey, that guy looks like somebody who fly around like a bat. He looks like that guy. Like he looked like this deeply depressed, dark person. And I don't know if Bruce is really supposed to. Bruce is supposed to look completely different than what a Batman person would look like. So
maybe they'll do that. Maybe he'll be a little bit more spry in the actual movie because again, it's only 30% shot. So it's a lot of movie that we don't know what's going on. The villains that's in it. The Riddler and the Penguin. Colin Farrell playing the Penguin. You would forget because he looks totally
unrecognizable.
Yeah.
He looks unrecognizable.
Yeah. It's gonna be great. I cannot wait. Just kind of build on what Shad said. I love Robert Pattinson. My wife is a huge Robert Pattinson fan. I mean, he's a really good actor. And this Batman, when I watched the trailer for the first time today. That was the one I had a hard time trying to find. I watched it today, and I mean, it gave me chills. It looks so good. And Batman's one of my favorites. So, it's going to be so good. That's probably the one I'm most ready to watch right now. I cannot wait to watch it.
I agree.
What about Catwoman? What you guys think about Catwoman?
I thought Catwoman looked cool. I like the look. I like the smaller cat ears. I think all of these movies are children of The Dark Knight. I thought it was laughable when people was trying to act like the new Joker movie was better than The Dark Knight. It's not. It won't ever be. I think The Dark Knight is the single greatest comic book movie of all time. And all of these movies are building off of what The Dark Knight done. This looks like a Christopher Nolan movie. It does. Yeah. It looks like a Nolan movie. But I thought Catwoman looked great. I did. I thought she looked great.
Catwoman looks good, but they'll never ever compare to Halle Berry in the Catwoman suit. I guess I would.
Optics.
You talking about just looks alone?
I mean, the movie's gonna look good. It's gonna be good. But I'm sorry, I was at the age where things were happening inside of me when I seen Halle Berry and woo. I mean, that's
you talking about just the look. That's all you talking about, right?
Because and if we talking about the best Catwoman, and watching everybody.
I don't know about that. If we're talking about the best Catwoman, to me, that's Michelle Pfeiffer, hands down. Not even close. Now, I thought Anne Hathaway was great at humanizing Selena Kyle as a character. But if we're talking about the comic book Catwoman, it's Michelle Pfeiffer all day, not even close.
I don't know about that.
I mean,
for me anyway.
We'll agree to disagree. But yeah, other than that, we're gonna dial out. Nova Trifecta. Any last words for the people? We got about 3 minutes.
Stay safe out there. COVID is a real thing. It has affected my family. It's affected me directly, my household directly. Don't be stupid. Don't be stupid and think that it's a bunch of hogwash and made up stuff. It's a real thing, and it affects people. And if one of your children gets sick, you're going to be like, dang, man, this stuff sucks. So be smart about it. Don't be dumb. We've had a whole conversation about that this morning, us 3 guys. And if I could tell anybody is be safe, practice social distancing, wear your mask, do some stuff. Don't be stupid about this. Don't be. Yes, there are other things out there that probably are worse than COVID, but COVID. This right now, you've got to be smart. Please be smart about stuff.
And to piggyback on what Kendall said, I thought he said it perfectly. Keep social distancing. I know this sucks. It sucks. I had to go to a football game with a mask on the other day. I mean, that it just sucks. It's inconvenient. It sucks. I get it. I get all of it. But I think it may be our reality right now. And we may have to accept that this is what reality is right now. So wear your mask. Let's try to slow down the spread of this thing so we can get back to normal and watch some freaking football, man.
Yeah. And to go back off what y'all said, social distancing, keep it tight, keep it right, and MOB. And if you gotta ask what MOB is, you part of uninitiated.
Exactly.
Trifecta. Out, baby.
The uninitiated.
Nova Trifecta, baby.
Nova Trifecta. Peace.